Welcome back. In this demonstration, I am going to show you how to fold the origami piece crane. You can use origami paper with two-sided colors, and that will give you different colors on the wings. But in this demonstration, I'm going to start with an A4 piece of paper. I like to start by taking this corner and rolling it over till the top edge here is parallel with the side edge. Once those two edges are exactly parallel, hold your paper in place and use your bone folder to crease the paper along that diagonal. Once you have a nice strong crease, take your scissors and trim off the excess paper. You can use the extra paper to make smaller cranes later once you've learned the skill of making the crane. Once you have your paper cut, open it up, and this section should now be a square, and you should have one valley fold from this corner to that corner. Take the bottom left-hand corner and now fold the bottom left-hand corner up to the top right-hand corner. This is a valley fold, and you want to make sure that the edges of your paper are exactly parallel here and here, so that you end up with one more diagonal line. Now these two diagonal lines form what I call the Origami X, and if you open your square back up, you'll have an Origami X in the center. You can see where those valley folds are meeting. Then take your paper and flip it over. Take the bottom edge of your paper and fold it up to meet the top edge. This will be a valley fold, which will half the paper right along the center. Again, crease that so it's a nice strong valley fold. Then take the right hand edge and valley fold it over to meet the left hand edge. Crease it so that you have the vertical valley fold going through the center of the paper. Now we've prepared the paper for what is called the preliminary base. Turn your paper so that it's a diagonal, and you'll notice that the lines running from corner to corner are mountain folds, and the lines running from the flat edges of the paper are valley folds. At this point, you'll be able to take these two right and left corners and gently bring them down to the center point here. These will then fold nicely in because of the pre-folding that we've already done. Take the top section and squash it down flat. This is called a preliminary fold, and it looks something like that. Now we will need to move on to create the bird base. To create the bird base, we need to use what's called a petal fold. So there are two flaps on the right hand side, one here and one underneath. And there are two flaps on the left hand side, one here and one underneath. Make sure that the preliminary base is opening, pointing towards your belly, and this part here is pointing away from you, which is closed at the top. Then take the top flap and take the bottom outside edge of it and fold it in along this crease that's in the center. Try to ensure that it does not go over that line. You need to leave yourself just a little bit of a gap, maybe like very, very small, a millimeter of paper between the fold and where that new fold is coming. Now you're going to do that 3 more times, one on each point. So I'm going to take this bottom edge and fold it into the center. Then flip your model over and repeat the same 2 steps. Fold this bottom right hand edge in towards the center. This is a valley fold. And the bottom left hand edge into the center. Okay, now you should have a ice cream cone shape like this with the top here and the bottom there. One last fold to prepare for our petal fold. Take this top triangle here and fold it right along where this extra paper is resting. Valley fold it down and give it a good strong crease. Now we're going to open the model up. Flap that top flap open and open these 2 flaps here. Now there's going to be one flap of paper here, and you're going to pull this away from you and crease it right along that valley crease that we just got done making. Now your paper will open up this way, and you'll take these 2 flaps underneath, and they're just going to fall right in place because they're already valley folds. Okay, these ones here are going to need to be recreased to make these mountain folds. Just kind of gently follow right along the crease and follow right along the crease for that one. And those will come and you'll have a shape that looks like that kite shape. Okay, now fold that back down, flip your model over, and repeat the same step. Open these two flaps, take the top flap here, bring it away from you and fold it right along that crease we already created. Bend these edges in, gently recrease the top flaps along the crease that's already there into a mountain fold, and lay this down flat and fold it. Then you can return it back to here. Now this is called our bird base. At this point we have two flaps, one on the front and one hiding here in the back. We're going to take these two flaps and flap them up, just like that, and take the back one and flap it up like this. Okay, now these two pieces here should be separated and opening up. These will end up being both the head and the tail. Okay, to make them a little bit thinner, you're going to take this bottom outside edge and again fold it into the center. You're going to valley fold it and try to make sure that you leave yourself just a little bit of paper here. You don't fold right up to the edge. It should be close, but give yourself a little teeny bit so you can refold it for the next step. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side here. Folding it into the center to make the overall model thinner for those two parts. Okay, now flip your model over and repeat the same step on the back. Okay, take this bottom outside edge and fold it in towards the center line. Use your bone folder to make a nice strong crease and repeat the same step on the left. Left bottom edge in towards the center. And crease it with your bone folder. Okay, the last couple steps here, we've got these two legs now, and we're going to do what's called an inside reverse fold. Before I do that, I am going to pre-crease a valley fold coming from this point here and going up this direction. Okay, so I'm going to take this paper and fold it this direction. I like to make mine, of course you can adjust this to your personal preference, but I like to make this line of my paper parallel with this inside piece here of the wing, this little flap of paper that's right there. Okay, so I like to make those parallel and then give it a good strong crease and make the other side exactly the same, making sure that it is again parallel with that inside piece. Okay, so you have something looking like this. Then unfold those two and you're going to do what's called an inside reverse fold. Here you have two flaps. You're going to open it gently and you're going to bend this paper up so that these two flaps come together and it looks something like this. So that flap of paper has been pushed inside your model like that. And it should fall right along that line we just got done creasing. Okay, now repeat the same step on the other side. Inside reverse fold it, opening that flap, gently pressing your paper upwards so that it conforms to that line we've already folded. And it looks something like that. Okay, now if you get to this stage, you can pick either end to be the head or the tail. Okay, the head we're just going to bend down a little bit. I'm actually going to flip mine over and use this side for my head. And I'm going to take this and do an inside reverse fold again. I'm going to bend this edge downwards, valley folding it there to make our crease, then lift it back up, open these two flaps of paper here and here, and push this head inside like this. Okay, So now that head is tilted downward. You could also make it tilted out a little bit more. Okay, now this is our final model. The last step that I like to do for hanging it up is taking these two wings and just gently kind of curling them around my finger to give them a little curl here and here. And then after I've curled them a bit, I like to pull the model open like that, just gently, not so that it rips, but just gently, to give that little form on the inside so it's not laying flat. Okay? So that is how you complete the origami traditional piece crane.